It started on March 8, 2024, just another Friday night, or so I thought. I was winding down, scrolling through the news on my phone like I always do. You know how it is, endless headlines about politics, local events, sports, nothing that ever really grabs you. But then, one headline jumped out. It was from a local news site I'd barely ever looked at. Local man still missing after 72 hours. Normally, I'd just scroll past tragic, of course, but these stories were becoming depressingly common. But the photo they used stopped me cold. My thumb froze over the screen. It was me. There was no mistaking it. It was a picture of me, standing outside my own apartment building. I was wearing the same black jacket I had on just yesterday. The small, faint scar on my chin from a childhood biking accident was clearly visible. Even the slightly chipped paint on the railing behind me was exactly right. My heart started to pound in my chest, a frantic drum against my ribs. The article claimed a man named Ryan Carter had vanished 3 days ago. My name is Ryan Carter. It said I was last seen leaving my office on Tuesday afternoon. But that was impossible. I was here. I'd been here all week. I remembered Tuesday perfectly. I left work, grabbed a sandwich from the deli on the corner, came home and watched a movie. I remembered Wednesday, a long and boring day filled with conference calls. I remembered Thursday, when I met up with a friend for a quick coffee. I remembered every single moment of the last 72 hours. I hadn't gone missing. I was right here, in my living room, reading about my own disappearance. I tried to rationalize it. It had to be a mistake, a prank. Maybe someone with the same name, who looked eerily like me, had gone missing. A doppelganger. That was the thing, right? I frantically searched for other articles, but there were only a few, all from small local blogs, all repeating the same information. No national news, no police statements. It was just there. A weird, isolated pocket of the internet claiming I was gone. I shook my head, trying to clear the fog of confusion. It was late. I was probably just tired, my mind playing tricks on me. I turned off my phone, told myself to forget about it, and went to bed. Sleep, however, did not come easily. The next morning, the world felt off. The feeling started subtly. On my way to get coffee, I noticed people looking at me. Not just a quick glance, but a long, lingering stare. A woman walking her dog stopped, and her eyes widened for a split second before she hurried away. A man waiting for the bus did a double take, his brow furrowed in confusion. It was unnerving, like I was a ghost they could almost see. At the coffee shop, the real weirdness began. I went to pay with my debit card. Declined. I tried again. Declined. The barista, a young guy I saw every morning, looked at me with a strange mix of pity and suspicion. "Sorry man, it's not going through," he said. I fumbled for some cash, my hands trembling slightly. He took it, but his eyes never left my face. It felt like he was trying to place me, like I was a familiar face in a forgotten dream. The unease followed me all day. I tried to log into my work email from my phone. Access denied. I called my office, but the line went straight to a generic voicemail, one I'd never heard before. It was like the world I knew was slowly erasing me, one digital key at a time. The most disturbing part, though, was my own reflection. Walking past a store, I caught my image in the large plate glass window. For a fraction of a second, it was like the reflection was lagging behind, catching up to my movements a moment too late. I stopped, turned back, and stared. My reflection stared back, perfectly normal. I must be losing my mind. The stress from that stupid article was getting to me. That had to be it. That night, I couldn't resist the urge to check the news again. My hands were slick with sweat as I typed my name into the search bar. A new article popped up, published just an hour ago. The headline made the blood in my veins run cold. Sighting confirmed, subject still unresponsive. And the photo. My God, the photo. It was a grainy, nighttime shot, clearly taken from a distance. It showed a figure standing on the sidewalk directly across from my apartment building. The figure was me. I was wearing the same clothes I had on right now, my blue hoodie and jeans, but my posture was wrong. I was standing perfectly still, unnaturally so, with my head tilted up towards my own apartment window. My window, the window I was looking out of right now. The timestamp on the photo was from the previous night, around 3 a.m., but I was asleep then. I was in my bed, dreaming restless, fitful dreams. I was not standing on the street like a statue. Who took this picture? Who was this person that looked exactly like me, standing outside my home in the middle of the night? Was I being watched? Was this why people were staring? Had they seen this other me? Panic began to claw its way up my throat. I jumped up and checked all the locks on my doors and windows for the 10th time. I pulled the blinds shut, plunging the apartment into darkness. My mind was racing, trying to connect the dots, but there were no dots to connect. There was just a swirling vortex of impossibility. Was I going crazy? Was this some elaborate, cruel joke? Or was something far more sinister happening? I spent the next day in a self-imposed prison, too afraid to leave my apartment. The feeling of being watched was overwhelming. Every creak of the floorboards in the hallway outside my door made me jump. Every distant siren sent a jolt of adrenaline through me. I kept my phone off, terrified of what I might find. The silence was deafening, broken only by the frantic thumping of my own heart. The day dragged on, an eternity of paranoia and fear. The sun set, and the shadows in my apartment grew long, twisting into menacing shapes. I sat on my couch, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the blank TV screen. The reflection showed a pale, hollowed-out version of myself. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, I couldn't stand the not knowing any longer. My curiosity, or maybe just my desperation for an answer, any answer, outweighed my fear. With a trembling hand, I turned my phone back on. It took a moment to boot up, the glowing logo feeling like a beacon in the dark. For a moment, there was nothing. No new messages, no missed calls, just the normal home screen. A wave of relief washed over me. Maybe it was over. Maybe the internet fever dream had passed. And then, at exactly 11:59 p.m., the screen lit up. The sound that came from the speaker wasn't a normal notification chime. It was the harsh, blaring tone of a government emergency alert, the kind they use for natural disasters or child abductions. My breath caught in my throat. Red and white text filled the screen. Search operation terminated for Ryan Carter. Status recovered. Recovered? What did that mean? Recovered from where? Recovered by who? My mind spun, unable to process the words. Recovered, like a lost object, like a body. Before I could even begin to comprehend the message, another sound cut through the silence of the room. It was a soft, metallic sound. A sound I knew all too well. It was the sound of the deadbolt on my front door. Click it was unlocking. From the outside, I froze, my body turning to ice. I live alone. No one else has a key. The alert on my phone was still glowing, bathing my terrified face in its eerie light. Recovered. The word echoed in the sudden, terrifying silence. Then, slowly, the doorknob began to turn. The door creaked open, revealing a dark shape standing in the hallway, silhouetted against the dim light from the corridor. It was my shape, my height, my build. It took a step into my apartment, and as its face moved out of the shadows and into the faint glow of my phone screen, I saw myself. The same jacket, the same scar, but the eyes were empty, dark voids, and on its face, a slow, cold smile began to spread. The door clicked shut behind it.